Just a short while ago, Microsoft sent in the Xbox One S for us to review, and I really liked the system. I kinda liked its more compact nature compared to the original Xbox One. And Microsoft has sent us something else. Pretty quickly after sending us the other console, they sent us another Xbox One S. But this one is a little bit different because it's themed like Gears of War. Now usually I really wouldn't care about these kind of systems, but this one's kind of special, if only for the fact that it's got realistic battle damage. Now everything I said about the original Xbox One S is pretty much exactly what you're gonna get out of this box. This system is sporting a really cool red color theme straight from the Gears of War universe, which actually looks really cool. But if you look at the tops and corners of this thing, it actually has little digs into the system, like little trenches that are cut in from scratches and scrapes, as if it was actually on the battlefield, which is kinda cool. I can't lie, I really like this kind of stuff. These little tiny textures and details make it a lot more interesting to look at than your average Xbox One S. And even though I do like the way the original Xbox One X looks, this one's just a little bit cooler. Plus, if you're a big fan of Gears of War, you might really like this stuff. And I know you're probably assuming I'm a huge fan of Gears of War and that's why I'm gushing over this thing, but I'm not. I've actually never really played any of the Gears of War games all that much, and I don't really have that much knowledge in the game series itself, but I really am a sucker for cool designs, and this one is pretty awesome. Everything about the exterior design of this console is customized, and it also does something pretty special. When you turn it on, it makes this noise. Which I think is so cool. I don't know why. The console also comes with a brand new Xbox One S controller that is, once again, Gears of War themed. Now this is a little bit different compared to the console. Now while I do like the console, and I do like the way this looks, I've got a couple of key things about this controller that I think might put people off from actually having this as their daily driver. Now to begin with, right on the side here, you've got scrapes, just like on the console, but a problem with that is that scrapes on this thing are actually around the area where you push in the buttons. So you're going to be able to feel that every time you push in any of these buttons whenever you're playing any game, which shouldn't be an issue unless you're somebody that has naturally oily skin, or in some cases you just don't wash your hands all the time. You'll probably find that these grooves here collect a lot of dust and dirt and skin cells and stuff, which can be a little gross. I personally like keeping my controllers absolutely clean, and I wash them a lot, so seeing this thing just worries me. One thing I'm not a big fan of with this controller is that the face buttons here, the B, X, A, and Y, well, you know on an Xbox One controller, the actual buttons themselves have the letters kind of built into the button design. It's like this clear plastic, and then the B or the A or whatever is just right in there. Well, what they've done here is that those buttons are now completely black, so if you look inside, you'll see the original B and the Y and the X and all that stuff. But what they've done is they've overlaid a kind of graphic design over top of these kind of scratched in looking letters. Unfortunately though, they're just printed over top of these initial buttons here, so I feel like if you use this controller enough, you might rub them off, especially if you're playing the games really hard, like many people tend to do when it's competitive gameplay. Now I do like this, like I said, but this might be the kind of controller you're going to keep somewhere else that you're not using every single day, otherwise you might ruin that kind of stuff. But like I said, this is a collectible controller, probably not something you want to play competitively with. The system also comes with a copy of the Ultimate Edition of Gears of War 4 for all those people out there that were buying the system specifically just to play Gears of War. Well, that's gonna come in with the pack. It is a really cool system, and I love the way it looks, and I'm speaking as somebody that isn't really the biggest fan of Gears of War. But Microsoft, if you're listening, I don't know why you made that Xbox One S sound that awesome when it started up, but can we please have that option with like any other Xbox One S? Like, can we throw in our own customized sound effects? I would love to have my Xbox One S just start up with the Rerez sound. That would be really cool. Like, do it with a system update or something. At least, I think that'd be neat. Maybe I'm not the only one out there that might want that, though.